The town of Holden also holding a ceremony today in honor of Memorial Day. The Brewer JROTC Color Guard performed taps during the placing of a wreath. Members of Brewer American Legion Post 98 were in attendance along with community members. In addition to the ceremony, speeches and prayers were given.
Well, Holden's a good-sized community, but we're kind of divided. We got Route 1A runs right through the middle of town. Difficult to have organized activities in town. So this is one of the things we can do to not only show appreciation for the veterans in town and in the local area, but also to draw residents and citizens in to participate.
A first responders memorial has been added to the site honoring those who have served and had a large impact on the community. Late Police Chief Chris Greeley and late Fire Chief Jim Ellis are on that memorial. Upcoming events are being planned to raise funds to complete that project.